Hi friends, Renee Keys here with Carolina Creative. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here with more card making ideas for you today. I'm back to playing around with the Season of Green and Gold. I've been doing a lot of different cards, and when I do that and use up the gorgeous paper that comes with that suite, I end up with a lot of scraps. So today I'm using some of these 1.5 inch wide by 4-inch long scraps that I had left over from trimming a bunch of paper. And with these papers, because they all coordinate front and back, you actually have a lot of different options that you could pair up. So I've just picked, kind of 3 of my favorites. I've got a little bit of gold in there. What I'm going to do is pair this with the wild wheat as my card base. So I have cut my paper lengthwise. So this is now 11 by 4 1/4. And of course, it's been scored in the middle, so it's been scored at 5 1/2. So now I've got my standard 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Let me go ahead and flip my camera down to my work area here. I'm just going to burnish the edge there. And I was flipping over and looking at what I'm doing here. I've also got a piece of Very Vanilla. Because the paper here with the gold is more vanilla toned, I'm using vanilla as my base. And I've cut this, it's about 5 by 4, or just under 4, so that I still have a small margin on the sides. It's a little bit bigger top and bottom. And what I'm going to do is position these strips on here as a part of the frame. And when I do this, I'm going to start from the outside in, and that way I can get it centered. But I'm not ready to start gluing yet. I want to do my stamping first. I have also used the die cut, so I'm using Season of Green and Gold, and I pulled this die out of this set, and I've die cut it in, what's the cranberry color? It just left my brain. But anyway, this is that dark cranberry. It's not real red. It's that darker color. So I'm using that. And then I'm going to be stamping sentiments out of this Greetings of the Season. So I'm using the Love and Joy, and then May your holiday season be filled with warmth and cheerful celebration. So let me do a little bit of stamping. I'm using this, and I'm going to stamp with one of these pine boughs. You'll see how that comes together. So again, out of this Greetings of the Season, I punched out one of the tag shapes. I love these tags. They're all kind of different. There's some ovals, and there's some really pretty designs like this one. They have the stitched borders, and I just think they make a nice focal point because of the interest. So let me stamp a sentiment for the front of the card. And cranberry, the color, the name of the paper is just escaping me. So let me stamp my sentiment. And then I'm going to use Old Olive. There's a number of shades of green in these papers. But I think with the ones that I've picked, the olive stands out the most to me. So I'm going to ink up part of this bow here, and I'm just adding it. You won't see the whole thing. I'm just giving it, yep, that was what I was wanting to do. A partial, let me get the ink off my work surface here. A partial spray onto my sentiment here. And magic of television, even though this isn't television, I went ahead and pre-stamped the insert for my card. So there's my sentiment, again, in the dark red or cranberry, and I've matched them now. So I've got the same look inside and out. So basically, I'm ready to start assembling. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something different today. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this first and then work my way up. So I'm going to use liquid glue for this. You could use Stampin' Seal. It's whatever you decide you're most comfortable with. A lot of times the big layers, oh, but I got it on the card base. Quick, get that off. But what I might just do, just in case that shows, is flip that and make that the back side of my card. How about that? Okay, so on the front, I've got to center this up. I'm just eyeballing it, side to side, left and right, top and bottom. Okay, so now I mentioned a little earlier, I'm going to start from the outside and work my way in. And I want to leave a little bit of border on the edges, and a little bit of border top to bottom. And then what I'll do is I can adjust this once I have the other two pieces set. So I am, again, the liquid glue is a little more forgiving. It'll allow me to slide this just a smidge if I need to. So I felt like that was a safer bet rather than using Stamp and Seal for this part of the card. And I love these papers. It has that hint of gold in some of the papers. The gold foil, it's on here. So I put this on the bottom because I think you're going to see more of the bottom paper before I'm done. And then I'm going to put some more gold in the middle and try to tie it all together. And now this is where I'm going to center this up. I'm going to try to leave the same amount of border on either side of this piece, top and bottom. So I have 3 different strips. So I've now made this a whole lot more interesting than it was before. But you've got a little bit of the vanilla showing through on there. While I've got the glue, I may as well put my insert inside here. This color is just dark enough that I don't think I'd want to try to write in there. I feel like it needs either the white or a vanilla insert. Just that's me. I prefer to put an insert inside the cards. It also obviously makes the cards a little heavier, so it has some heft to it, you know, when you pick it up. So I have a nice background. So now this is my focal point, my accent. I'm going to put the red on there, and that's going to really make a pop. And then I'm going to add my tag and then a few gems. And so you can see how this is quickly coming together, you know, and it's going to look like a card. So I've got my dimensionals ready. This piece, I think the easiest thing to do is just liquid glue. So I'm going to dot this on. I want to make sure that, you know, these round ends, you can't catch them and they can't be picked up. A little bit on the stem, although the stem's going to be covered by the sentiment, but I'm just going to make sure that this has enough to hold it down. Okay, and so now I just decide where I want to place it, and I think a little bit of an angle, yep, run it across here. I like that. And if I want, I could still snip that off if it's going to hang out, but I think I can manage to hide that. So this I'm going to pop off with my dimensionals. I want this to stick up from the surface of the card. Wow, this doesn't want to come out. It's going to stick up from the surface. So I'm going to put, I don't know, 4 or 5 probably dimensionals on here. Put one in the middle just to make sure it's got support. So if somebody, yeah, there was a sticky one there. That's why it didn't want to come out. Okay, pull off the backings like that. I'm putting them in my trash can here. All right, and I think, you know, I don't want to go straight. I'm going to make sure I stick some glue under there if I need to. I think just across here is going to be the look I'm after. And now I'm pulling out the pretty cherry cobbler. That's the color, cherry cobbler. It was right here in front of me. Cherry cobbler and white and pearl. These are really, really pretty. And of course, this goes and makes this pop. I could have put a bow on here to cover the tag, and I just decided that might be too much. So I'm just going to try to hide it with my gems here, and then sprinkle a few more on the card. Again, it's that red accent, the little bit of a red pop. And then I think the last thing I'm going to do, well, I wanted to make sure I had another dot under this because it's already wanting to pop up. And I don't want that to be loose or able to be caught. But the last thing I'm going to do is just a little wink of Stella. I'm going to give this some shimmer on this die cut. Make sure that I've got some flowing here and just kind of paint it on. It dries very quickly. And then I think I'm going to put some shimmer here on my greenery too. Now this, I'm being careful because if it was very wet, I could be pulling a little bit of paint with this, which is what I didn't want to do. And I could even dab some on here with these just so there's more shimmer on the card. But I think because we've got gold foil accents here and gold foil down here, that's probably enough. Now this could have been die cut in gold and that would have been very pretty too. But Love and joy, very simple message, and then, wishing you a cheerful celebration on the inside. So that's my card for today. You saw this didn't take very long, and I was using some of the random paper scraps that were left over from making other cards. And it's a very pretty design because it does have a variety of paper, a lot of different colors, a little bit of texture with this on top. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the project. If you like the project or the products that you see here, you can find me at Carolina Creative or hashtag Carolina Creative, or I'm on the Stampin' Up! Network at Renee Keys at StampinUp.net. Stay tuned for the next video. Appreciate you.